A curve is any drawing that can be made in a single continuous motion without lifting your pencil from the paper. What we consider straight lines are also considered to be curves, at least in the mathematical sense. Here are some examples that are not curves, since you cannot draw them without lifting your pencil. So like the smiley emoji, or 2 hearts inside a box, or 3 dots inside of an oval. None of those can be drawn without lifting your pencil. Simple curves do not cross themselves. They can have any number of curves or twists to them, but they can't cross themselves. And then some curves that are not simple are ones that do cross themselves. And I see a couple examples here. A closed curve is a curve that starts and stops at the same point. So basically could be a loop or just whatever the boundary of some two-dimensional object. And there are some examples. And then closed curves can be simple or not simple. A not simple closed curve is one that basically like a figure 8 where it touches itself. So there's multiple parts to it. A line is a straight curve that goes on forever in both directions. So to show a line in a diagram, we put an arrow at the ends to indicate the line goes on forever in those directions. A line segment is a straight, simple curve that starts at one point and ends at another. So it's basically like you take a line and cut a piece out of it. A finite piece is a line segment. A ray is a straight curve that goes on forever, one dimension. So basically, it's a line that, or half a line. Anyway, it goes on. You have one starting point and it goes on forever in a direction. An angle is made between two lines, rays, or line segments. The corner point is called the vertex. So when you have an angle, you can measure that angle by a device called a protractor. Essentially, you put the protractor by the angle and look to see what the angle measure is. So a protractor is a tool that you can use to draw and measure angles. Angles are measured in units called degrees. Degree measures typically range from 0 degrees to 180. And in this example, this is one that's would be 70 degrees, where you can see there's 60 and 70, 80. You can see the line basically goes through where the 70 is. In terms of classifying angles, a straight angle is basically like a line, except that we have a point in the middle there. It's like a point where two rays are going in opposite directions. That's a straight angle, and the angle's measure is 180 degrees. An acute angle is one that's less than 90 degrees. A right angle has a measure of 90 degrees, and we'll usually put a little square in the corner to say that that's a right angle. And then obtuse angles are greater than 90 but less than 180. A couple other terms. Two angles are complementary when the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. So two angles are complementary when you put them together, you get a right angle. And two angles are supplementary when the sum of their measures is 180. So if you put them together, they form a straight angle. So let's find and sketch an angle that is complementary to this angle here. Well, complementary, we'd want to form a right angle. So just take a side and let's say we want to form a right angle. So it'd be something like this. We know a right angle is 90 degrees. So if you think of your missing add-in model of subtraction, 60 degrees plus what is equal to 90? Well, 90 minus 60 is 30 degrees. As far as supplementary, we just take one side and extend it forever, or extend it in the other direction. And that would give you supplementary angles. Again, in this case, they add up to 180. So 135 degrees plus what is 180? Well, 180 minus 135 is 45 degrees. So the supplementary angle would be 45 degrees.